Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Tonight, we are talking about a new feature. You know, I love a good new Clio feature, and I will tell you that our conference now, the Clio conference, is coming up in about 2 weeks. And as is traditional, Clio does put out a lot of new features as we come up to the conference, at the conference, right after the conference. So I do expect or hope for a lot more of these. But this one came out with little fanfare, and I want to highlight it because I do think it has a really nice feature. And that is that now we are able to not just save copies of emails into Clio, but also send outgoing emails from Clio, and they will appear as if they're coming from your actual email address. So let's dive over to the software and I can show you how to set this up and how to make it work. And so if we come over to our Clio screen, and we're in our Clio account, in order to set this up, you will need to go over to the settings in your account. And you will need to come to this apps section here under personal. Now, some of you may have more or less settings, but you will all have this apps setting. So if we click on there, then you'll have the opportunity to either click on Microsoft if you're using Outlook 365 or Google if you're using Google. And so when you do that, if you're choosing Google, this button will say connect and you'll need to click on it. It'll ask you to log into your Google account and it will verify some of the settings with you. And once that's been done, it will have this green enabled box checked right here. And that will mean that we're ready to go ahead and have emails sent from Clio and from our email address. Similarly, if we're clicking on Microsoft, you'll come down here to the email integration. You'll want to click on connect. It will ask you to log into your account. And again, you'll be able to send emails directly from the account. In fact, it addresses it right here in this section here. So once that's been done, by the way, some of you may have already done this because it also allows us to send out billing emails and other of the pre-programmed emails that Clio sends out. Those are coming from our email addresses as well. So some of you may have this set up already. Don't be surprised if you do. But that same setup will allow you now then to send emails out of Clio. So if we come over to our communications tab and you click on emails here under email logs, this is where we can see where we've been saving or logging email messages that Clio has been sending out. And you can see from this one, you know, a lot of those are bill reminders. We've got a bunch of those down here, email messages that have gone out with bills to our clients, which is great. Or we might have written emails, outgoing emails in our Google or Outlook accounts, and then use those integrations or plugins for Clio in order to save a copy into our Clio account. And so a lot of us have been doing that to date as well. But now, if we have that integration set up with Outlook or Google, now we can come over here in the Communications tab, and under New, there will be a new option here for an email. Now, keep in mind, not an email log, right, but an email itself. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that to show you how it works. So I can go ahead and select my matter. In this case, I think I'm going to select one of Mickey Mouse's matters. He's having some estate planning done. And so I've gone ahead and selected that matter. I typed in the matter number. Of course, you can type in the client or the matter and it'll pop up for you. It knows it's coming from me, of course, and then I'm going to have to go ahead and tell them who I am emailing. And in this case, I am going to email Mickey Mouse. And the subject line is going to be something like, need details. Who will be your, let's say, who will be your beneficiary for the life insurance? And we'll type our message there to Mickey Mouse, and we'll go ahead. And by the way, if we are storing documents in Clio, I can click on this Add Attachments button and find that document that I want to go ahead and attach. So that's a really nice feature as well. I'm not storing mine, so I'll go ahead. Well, there goes my message. I'll go ahead and cancel that. Let's start this over here. So we're writing our email to Mickey Mouse. He has some estate planning needs. We're going to go ahead and find him in here so we can start addressing our message. By the way, I did this from the main communications tab from the main menu, but you can accomplish the same thing by going into Mickey Mouse's Matter, clicking on communications, and then going to the new under the new tab there and find email there. It will pre-fill out the matter for you. It will pre-fill out the client for you. You don't have to write to the client. I can delete this and write to somebody else, but it does that automatically for you, which is nice and faster, obviously. So let's write our message. And I'm going to go ahead and send that off to Mickey Mouse. Again, I don't have any attachments, but I could if I was saving documents in my Clio document storage. So I'm going to go ahead and send this email. Now, keep in mind, this is the first version of this feature, so there's no opportunity right now to put in any type of signature or anything like that. So if I do want to sign off on that, I may want to do that manually or copy and paste, or if you have a, any type of hotkeys or anything like that that you're using with Clio, then you can go ahead and do that. But I'm going to go ahead and click send, and this message will be sent. Now, the nicest part I think about this feature, well, one of the nicest things about this feature is that I don't have to log that email now. Clio automatically logs it for me when it sends it out. Okay, so this has been logged under his estate planning matter. Now, the really nice part is that when I go into my sent mail in my email, it will have been sent out. It will have gone through the sent mail and it'll show up in my sent mail. And so that's a really nice feature as well, or a really nice benefit. Now, the next thing that I want to show you, just to make sure we're all on the same page here and getting as much benefit as we can out of this, is that when this message does show up in my sent messages, and in fact, let's go take a look at that right now. If we hop on over here to the screen, you'll see this is the message that I just sent out. I just found it in my sent emails, and I've got my Clio plugin here. And so I can go ahead and it's giving me the opportunity to log this email. Now, the trick here is that even though Clio logged it because I sent it out through Clio, unfortunately, the integration does not recognize that it's been logged. In fact, it tells me it has not been logged. And so that can be a little bit confusing, right? Now, I can, of course, correct it by going to find the matter that I'm looking for. And I can find Mickey Mouse's matter, right? This is his estate planning one that I was looking at. And I can go ahead and log it here, right? And that's perfectly fine. That'll work. It's just that now I've logged it twice, and that seems like a little bit of a waste of time and energy, right? But keep in mind that if for some reason I pick a different matter, so I find a different matter that I want to log it to, unfortunately, it will now log that email twice. So if I pick a different matter for some reason, log that email, now when I go back into my communications tab, it'll take a minute to sync up. But what we'll see is that it logs that message twice. And so just be aware of that so that if you are stuck in that situation or if you do see that happen, you're not caught off guard, okay? But again, the nice part is it went out through my sent mail. It had my email address on it. It got logged into Clio when I sent it out, so I don't have to spend a lot of time now going back and logging sent emails, right? Which is super, super nice. And then, of course, when this Mickey Mouse responds to this message, it'll be in my inbox, right? In my Google or Outlook inbox. And I can then go and log that email as well. That one will get saved back in Clio in exactly the same place. So, not perfect, but definitely a step in the right direction and definitely a feature that I think can help us, especially if we're spending a lot of time in Clio and if we're spending a lot of time logging our emails. Writing them directly from Clio may be a little bit easier. So thanks for joining me tonight. I hope that helps. And I will continue to bring you more updates as we get closer to the Clio conference and maybe even do some lives while we're at the Clio conference. So have a great evening. I'll talk to you soon.